I filmed this entire video the first time completely out of focus. And unfortunately, though I'm not a perfectionist by evidence of my entire YouTube channel, I simply could not sit and edit an entire 30-minute video completely out of focus. I couldn't do that to myself. I definitely wasn't going to put that out in the world. So we're trying again. That's why there was a bit of a delay between this first and second video. The third video is completely filmed, finished, ready to upload. But I wanted to do this one first. Wanted to do it in order. So part 2 of my series is talking about my 2025 goals and intentions and how I did or did not do. So my kind of like motto for 2025 was the year of fun and fitness. At the beginning of 2025, I was completely bedbound. I had just gotten 2 major surgeries on my right hip. I could not work, I could not walk, I could not drive, I could not do anything by myself. So I really just wanted to get out of bed. I was just thinking about doing anything else, just having fun and getting back into shape because I was not able to work out and exercise most of 2024. So not only was I recovering from surgery, but I also had not been able to work out for almost a year. So I had lost a lot of my strength. So just wanted to get back into shape, have a lot of fun. I have about 8 to 10 goals that I set for myself this year. So those are specific, measurable, actionable, reasonable, and timely goals, SMART goals. So something I could specifically say I did and check it off when I did it, essentially. So I have about 8 to 10 of those, and then I have ins and outs of 2025. So things I wanted to keep in mind and implement or, focus on taking that away, but I didn't have something specific that I could just like check off. So just something I wanted to keep in mind throughout the year. So I'm going to go through my goals first, and then I'm going to go through my intentions. My first goal was to read 7 books. I did do this. I haven't really been a big reader. I kind of started reading during COVID, like 2020, when there wasn't really much to do, and then I started college, so I was not really focused on reading or I was just doing stuff for school, so I did not want to read very much during college. But I did find a couple books that I liked towards the end of college, and so I wanted to, now that I was out of school because I graduated at the end of 2023, I just wanted to start reading. So 5 books I did pretty easily. So last year I wanted to do 7 books, and I did do that pretty easily. I read 7 full books, 2 audiobooks, which I didn't really count those because I would just put that on in the car on my drive to work. And then I actually started my 8th book, but I didn't finish it until the beginning of January, so I couldn't count it towards my books for last year, and I don't want to count it for my books towards this year. So it was kind of that weird in-between phase. It doesn't really count for either, which it could. Like, there's really no rules. I literally have free will. But I just wanted to start fresh, but it was a good book. I read my 7 books pretty easily, so that goal I completed. My next goal was to write 5 journal entries. Now, this I did not do. I did not do a single journal entry. I wrote one kind of small thing at the beginning of last year. It wasn't really it wasn't a journal entry though, so I didn't count it. So I didn't even do one. I did not even try. Anytime I thought about writing a journal entry, I didn't want to write. I did not want to sit there and write because it takes so long to put all my thoughts on a page. I would rather just talk. That's why I started this series, because I wanted to just get all my thoughts and my reflection out without having to sit and write for hours, because honestly, that's how long it would take for me. So I did not even do this once, and I totally should have. I regret it, and I will do a few journal entries this year. I don't have it on my goals for 2026. Spoiler alert for the next episode of the series. I don't have it on my goal, but I think I'll make an effort to journal a little bit this year. But I did not even attempt one time to journal last year because it was just too much work. I did not want to do it, which was kind of dumb, because why did I make it a goal if I was not going to make a single effort to do it? The next one was to maintain my group fitness instructor credentials. So I got this certification at the beginning of 2024. It was between college and starting my first job, because I had a job lined up my last semester of school. So my whole last semester, because I graduated in December, I had a job lined up, and the Monday, I graduated on Saturday. The Monday after I graduated, they called me and had to defer my offer for 6 months. And I was like, well, I cannot be unemployed for 6 months. I'm not going to do that. So I wasn't sure what I was going to do. So I was like, you know what? I'll just get certified to be a group fitness instructor. I really got into fitness the past few years while I was in college, and I never saw myself doing it as a career. I just enjoyed doing it for myself. But I figured this would be a great opportunity to continue learning since I'm not in college anymore, and I wasn't sure what the future really held. So I got my credentials. Unfortunately, I did not do this goal either. I was not anticipating getting the type of job that I did. Right now, I work over 50 hours a week, including weekends, holidays. I work a lot. I work so much. So extra hobbies are not really, this really wouldn't even be a hobby. It would be like a side gig. It's not really something I just have in my, like, time. I do not have time to do it. Unfortunately, my certification is going to run out in February because it lasts for 2 years, and then I did not get recertified. So it's sad, but honestly, it's fine. I didn't know what the future was going to hold. I didn't know what kind of job I was going to end up doing. And when I want to do fitness, it's just something that I have to kind of squeeze in when I can. And if I barely have time to make like myself exercise, I'm not going to have time to teach fitness classes. So this was just something not in the cards for right now. Maybe in the future, if I, get another job or my career slows down, I'll consider this again because I do enjoy it, but it's just not something that's feasible for me right now. I'd rather do many other things with my free time. My next goal was to volunteer. Unfortunately, I did not do this one either. I did not even make an effort to. I had this goal in 2024 as well, and I had a lot of fun the day I did go volunteer. I volunteered at a food bank, and I got to meet so many cool people. It was really nice just giving back to my local community. So I wanted to do it again, and I didn't make an effort to. Same thing with like the journaling. I didn't even make an effort to. This year, I really want to though. I really want to find some way to volunteer. On my list here, I'll talk about it later, but I donate blood pretty frequently. That's an easy way for me to give back to my community, but actually going somewhere and like volunteering, doing something good for your community, especially if it's a cause that you care a lot about, it's so fulfilling, and it's great for the community, and I want to do it this year, but I just did not make an effort to do it last year. Kind of the same thing. I just didn't make an effort. So that one I didn't do. Actually, the very next one was donate blood 3 times. I donated blood once, and here's the reason why I did not donate 3 times. So I had surgery I had 2 surgeries, December 2024, and then I had my 3rd surgery September 2025. And there's a rule where you cannot donate blood unless you are 6 months, either 6 months or a year post-op. You cannot have had any surgeries, operations in the past year or 6 months, I don't remember. But I went and donated blood I think it was in October or November of last year, which I should not have done. Like, you're not supposed to do it that close to after getting surgery. And it made sense because I felt awful the next couple of days. Like, I just needed my own blood last year. And that's not something I realized until after I made this list, that you're not supposed to donate blood so soon after getting surgery. And so I did it once, regretted it, and realized that I should not have even done it in the first place. Not something I did, but it's not something I was even able to do. So that one I'm kind of giving myself some slack on. My next goal was to try meat. Now, this is kind of embarrassing because I've been a really picky eater my whole life, and when I was younger, I just could not. I didn't even like chicken nuggets. I did not like bacon. Like, I could not eat anything. So I just stopped eating meat. Like, I did not eat meat for my whole childhood, my whole early adulthood. I was just a vegetarian. It was just really hard getting my protein in. I'm sure that's a huge shocker. But I was having to get creative on ways to get my protein in, and it was just really hard. I just never felt like I was eating enough. I never felt like I was full, and when I did feel full, it was because I was just eating stuff that was bad for me. Like, this is just something I want to slowly start fixing. Now, I know it's not something I'm going to be able to fix overnight. I have spent years and years and years, like over a decade, not eating meat, and being very picky. So I know I'm not just going to instantly start being able to eat normal and like every food. It's been certainly a journey, but I will say that I did try meat last year. I've started eating chicken. I eat chicken once or twice a day. Like, I have it with almost every meal other than breakfast. I have felt a lot better too, now that I'm including meat, and how I'm doing that is just adding chicken to things I already eat. Like, I love Mexican food, I love pasta, stuff like that. And so just adding like what I usually eat and just adding like shredded chicken to it, it's been so easy, and I just feel so much better. I feel more full. I feel like I'm getting more out of my meals. So this one I did do. My next goal was to run a 5K, which this was ambitious as somebody who was writing these goals in bed, unable to move because I had just gotten major hip surgery. I knew I could do it. My goal in 2024 was to run a 10K, and I got up in like March or April is when I had to stop running because I got injured, but in April of 2024, and honestly, how far was I able to run at that point? I think I was able to do almost 4.5, 5 miles, like, without stopping. So this was a pretty big improvement, and I was on track to be able to run a 10K by the end of the year had I not gotten injured. So I wanted to, in 2025, focus more on running, like trying to slowly get back to where I was. Easily injure yourself running, and that's not how I injured myself. I did not get hurt running, so it didn't have anything to do with that. But strength and like physical therapy, resistance training, like that was mostly what I wanted to focus on to get my strength, my mobility, all of that back. And then I've decided within probably the next year or so, I may start incorporating running again into my routine. I do like hybrid training classes. Like, it's not CrossFit, but it's like running, lifting weights, burpees, box jumps, kind of all in like the same class. So I do a bit of cross training, and that's the majority of the cardio I do get, and I'm on my feet all day at work, so I'm getting movement in that way. But running is just not a priority for me right now. Like, running for distance, running for speed, I don't care about that. My next goal was to do a full unassisted pull-up. I can do a push-up. But I have wanted to do a pull-up for so long. I'm not small, like, I'm skinny, but I'm not small. Like, I'm 5'6". I weigh more than I look like I weigh because I am like muscular, I guess, so I'm like dense. But like, the more you weigh, the harder it is to do a pull-up objectively. And women naturally are just not going to be able to do pull-ups as easily as men, and I wanted to work and be able to accomplish this goal. So I started really focusing on pull-ups, I think in May, because that's when I really started working out again. That's when I started focusing on getting strength back versus just physical therapy, healing my hip. So I dedicated a couple days a week to doing pull-ups, and eventually, right before Christmas 2025, I did one pull-up, and I don't know why I've not been able to do one since, but I think I just wanted to do it so bad before the year ended, and I was at the point where I was using like the smallest, most thinnest like band, like resistance band, to support myself, and I was like, if I can do this with literally 2 pounds of resistance, I can do this with no resistance. And so I just worked at it, and finally right before Christmas I did accomplish a pull-up, and I'm telling you, I was on a high about this for like the next 3 days. And that's why setting goals is important. Like, you feel good. So that's why I do this every year. Like, that one goal is the reason why I do all of this. So I am so happy about it. I do have another pull-up goal for 2026 that we'll talk about in my next video. But my goal after that was to do 10 fun things with friends and family. I don't know why I thought it was going to be hard to do 10 things with friends or family. This one I accomplished so easily. I think I did this by like March or April. I had like a girls' night. I went and spent time with my cousins. We went out, like I went out with friends a few times. Like, I guess I think I'm way more antisocial than I am because this was easy, but I just wanted to set this goal to make an effort to actually go and see my friends, see family, because with my career and, you know, I'm engaged, so I live with my fiance and we live in another state than most of my friends. I just figured I needed this goal to like help me get out of my like routine, because my day-to-day I don't see friends, but I clearly severely underestimated how hard this was going to be. But anyway, my next goal was to get a promotion at work, and I did. I got my promotion. I actually got 2 promotions last year, so I accomplished this goal twice in 1 year. But I got my first promotion in March of last year. I promoted to a manager position, and that was a big jump. I interviewed 3 times before I got the promotion, so I did face some adversity there. There was a lot of competition. I just work in a very competitive industry, so I did not get it the first time or even the second time, but I knew that if I just kept trying and I just kept putting my best work in, just kept showing up every day, not letting it get me down, I was eventually going to get the promotion, and I did. And I ended up getting another promotion in August. It was mixed, but I am proud of myself for moving up very quickly. I've only been working for my 2-year anniversary will be in February. So the fact that in 2 years I went from the entry-level employee to passing my like skills test pretty much for my job, and then I've promoted to 2 management positions in the past year. So I'm very proud of myself. I'm not sure how quickly I'll promote from here, since the role I'm in now is more something that I want to stay in for a little bit and really learn before I move up to the next level. So promotion is not on my list for 2026, but I was pretty proud of myself. I did accomplish this goal. The last one, and this was not written at the beginning of the year, but it was added, which I don't usually do, but it was to get engaged, and I did. Ooh, don't look at my nails. But yeah, I got engaged in May, and my fiance wrote this goal and checked it off for me. So we got engaged in May. We're getting married at the end of 2026. So this is a very fun time for us. We're planning a wedding. We're thinking about our future, and it's just going to be really fun. So we did accomplish the get engaged goal. So now I'm going to talk about my ins and outs. So my intentions I had for this year. My ins were finding my personal style, tennis/pickleball, line dancing, and coloring. Now, finding my personal style is probably the one that I focused the most on. My fixation while I was in bed after surgery was fashion videos and style videos, because I'm not the type of person, I'd never even bought my own clothes growing up. I would just wear the free t-shirts that I would get. I would just wear athletic shorts and leggings to work or to school every day. I played sports, so I just had a uniform. My work now, I wear a uniform, so I wear the same thing every day. And basically I go from pajamas to work clothes to gym clothes back to pajamas. And that's just my rotation 99% of my life. So I wanted to make an effort to, on those times where I don't have to wear my work clothes or my gym clothes, I wanted to make an effort to find my style, see what I like, and wear things other than t-shirts and sweatpants and stuff like that. So I think I did a good job of this. I was able to see what I have in my closet and figure out what I enjoy wearing, and then finding more pieces to I guess, complement what I enjoy. So I've really been discovering my style. I have a lot more ways to go. I would like to make more styling videos. I'm such a beginner at this type of stuff, but I love watching those types of YouTube videos. Like Christina Micah's and Beep World are my favorites. I just love that type of content. So I would like to take a crack at it. If that's something you'd like to see, let me know. Tennis, pickleball, did not do either of those once. We actually just got a pickleball court put into our apartment complex, so that's something I may want to try. There is a couple local like tennis and pickleball clubs and like lessons that I could go to, but it's kind of the same thing as my group fitness instructor credentials. Like, it's just not something I have been wanting to prioritize. Like, if I've got an hour of spare time, I would rather go to the gym and actually focus on resistance training and physical therapy and, you know, strength stuff versus going to play a sport, which is something that I think will change this year in 2026. I think I have a goal of playing more sports or just playing a sport in general. I'm not sure. I should probably know what my goals are for this year. But yeah, this was not something I was able to do this year. Line dancing, I did go line dancing a couple times. I love line dancing. I want to do more of it this year. I did get a pair of boots, so I'm excited to wear those when I go line dancing. I'm gonna do it more this year, and I wish I had done it more last year, but this is not something I can't say I made no effort in, because I definitely went line dancing a few times and I had a lot of fun, and that's why I was on the list. Then the last one was coloring. I do color. I color sometimes. I just like activities that keep me off my phone. I don't like scrolling social media. I mean, I will sometimes, and I like seeing what my friends post and stuff, but I'm not trying to I don't have TikTok. I don't want to sit and scroll on Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts. Like, I'm not a scroller. Coloring it's not creative, I don't think, because I just have like a coloring book, but I just like that it's just something fun. There's no rules. If I want to make the grass blue, I make the grass blue in the pictures. So I have a couple coloring books, and it's just a nice cozy activity that I enjoy. My outs were mindless scrolling, like I said, dehydration, poor diet, and screen time before bed. I've mastered most of these. Dehydration, I'm still working on. Same with poor diet. I've increased or improved so much this past year. I've really made an effort to have a well-rounded diet. I have a long way to go, but I've made a lot of improvements there. Mindless scrolling, I've set strict screen times for my phone. My app limits are like 20 minutes for all social media every day. So I only give myself 20 minutes a day. And I've made an effort, because in the past I have done screen time or like app limits and then just ignored it. But I've made an effort. I think all of last year, I only ignored my screen time limit once. And it was because I was with somebody and I had something I wanted to show them, and my app limit was up. So I ignored it. I think that was the one time that I did it. So I am very proud of myself. If you set the app limit, there's no point in doing it if you're just going to ignore it. So set the limit, make it realistic. If you use social media for like work, for example, or you just know that you're going to spend more time on social media, then don't make it 10 minutes a day. Make it something realistic, but also kind of challenge yourself, and then see if you can like each month kind of lower your app limits until you're at the goal that you really want to be at per day. And then don't skip it, or don't ignore it, because then what's the point of even doing it? You might as well just not have an app limit if you're just going to ignore it. Dehydration. I have an issue where my mouth is really dry, and I thought it was a hydration issue. I don't think it is. I don't think that's my problem, but I have a gallon jug that I take to work every day. I try to drink most of it each day, but I usually will drink it over the course of 2 days, and then I have this like 46-ounce water bottle that I try to drink at least 2 of these a day, 3 a day if I'm not at work. So I'd say I drink a good amount of water. And screen time before bed, I keep my phone away. I have to get out of bed to turn off my alarm in the morning, so I'm not on my phone at all at nighttime. Even like after work most days, I just keep my phone in my purse and then I just plug it in when I go to bed. But I'm really not on my phone very much. But I would say overall, these goals I could have done better, but also I set goals with not really the correct expectations for how my year was gonna go. So I have to give myself some grace there. I had some unrealistic expectations, but also I did accomplish a lot. I think considering that I was recovering from surgery, I was working a bunch, I had gotten 2 promotions at work. Just considering everything, I am pretty proud of myself with how this year went, and I got engaged, so it was a really big year for me. But 2026 is gonna be way better, I think. It's wedding year. I'm gonna really step up my fitness. I really think I've gotten my overall health, on the right track for this year. So I'm very excited for what 2026 has in store. And if you tune into the next video, I'll be talking about specifically these goals and expectations I've set for this year. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.